What's up, my human heartbeats, and welcome back to Janeri Speaks Out, where the goal is to be a vessel to empower and rejuvenate humans to the highest capacity. Moving right along, I hope you guys doing great inside of this COVID-19. I know I am on a good tip. Okay, I wish that we wasn't inside of this, but however, we have to deal with the situations that come our way. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, is your first time tuning in, before, okay, before you listen to this video, go back and listen to the video that's titled Impaired Addictions. So that way you will be able to comprehend this one, Impaired Addictions Part 2. Anywho, picking up from where we left off from Impaired Addictions, I added this one because I wanted you guys not only know the things that my mother did and the reason why I was the way that I was, but I also wanted you guys to know the great side of the whole ordeal, in my opinion. So my mom eventually changed. She changed when I had my son. She stopped her drug addiction completely, and I'm talking about just cold turkey. And she used to smoke cigarettes. I mean, the cigarettes wasn't like the end all be all. I mean, smoking cigarettes is totally normal with what people really do, but she completely stopped cold turkey for the baby, Papa, my son. And she also stopped, you know what I'm saying, with her heroin addiction too. Heroin. Anyway, the reason being is one day we were at home together and I walked in a room and she was using the drug or whatever. And at that time I was 23 years old with a 1-year-old, probably 24 years old with a 1-year-old. And I told my mom that if you continue to do this, we will leave, because she was doing it over my baby. Like, my baby was in the bed with her and she was doing it in the room just like she used to do with me, right? So when I told her that, it just changed everything. At the time, to be honest, I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know I didn't know anything. I just knew that as a parent, I didn't want the same cycles to repeat it with my child. So I had to do what I had to do to get out of that cycle. And since then, she has done a completely a 180. I believe it's been maybe, I want to say 8 years now. My son is 9. So I believe it's been 8 years now. And it's just stopped. It's like more so now that she has a reason, from what she tells me. And sometimes she says that, she didn't have a reason. So I gave her reasons. So now my mother reads the Bible every single day. Every single morning she reads the Bible. Along with reading the Bible every single morning, she's real good with my son. Like, she takes him to school. She picks him up from school. She gets him ready. My mother acts like can't nobody do anything for the baby right but her, even though that's not the case. But that's just really how she acts. You know what I mean? So I'm very proud of her for that. I'm very proud that now she looks forward to being that grandparent for my son, because the mother that she wasn't to me. And I really appreciate that, because not only does my son have an amazing mother, he has an amazing grandmother as well. And in my opinion, mothers and grandmothers are like the best part of growing up for children, just from experiences, because in my opinion, people that I've talked to in the past and whatever like that, or in most of the time, they say, oh, well, my grandmother raised me and my grandmother was this, or my mother raised me and my mother was this. I didn't have the privilege of having a grandmother around when I was growing up, because my grandmother just wasn't in tune with me. So, however, I didn't let that discourage me. So, back to my mother. She is the best as she can be. We definitely are like this, and I tell her all the time, like, I never throw her situation up in her face. I never talk about it. It's the past, it's history. The only time we ever really talk about it is if we just talk about it. I don't like throw it in her face or make her feel some type of way because of the decisions and the choices that she made when I was growing up. You know what I mean? I let her know that I'm very proud of her, and that if we could go back to everything that I experienced growing up as a child, I would do it again in order for us to be where we are today. And I feel if we didn't go through those things when I was a child, we wouldn't be where we are today because they would have never happened. So it's a lot of growth inside of that. I realized that I don't know what my mother was going through that made her result into using, you know, using drugs the way that she, the way that she was. I don't know. And to be honest, I don't think she does either. I mean, we've had conversations about it, but I really haven't really gotten an answer. So, and all of that to me is neither here or there. All I care about is the growth inside of the whole ordeal that I've experienced with my mom, and it's a lot of growth there. And I'm confident, and I know that she was in a space and she felt like she couldn't get out, maybe. And I know for a fact that she tells me that she's grateful that I had my son because she don't know where she would be. And I definitely agree with that because he changed my life too. So he came in our lives and he changed our lives for the better. And for me, that's more than enough, And for people out there who think that they can't get through something or they can't, overcome something, you really can. It's all in here. It's all about what it is that you want to do. If you want to do it bad enough, you will. It's just like me with my weight loss. For years, I didn't want to lose weight, but when I got it in my brain, and my son was the reason why I really took it seriously because I had to breastfeed him and I had to eat healthy. So for my mom, my son was her reason to get her things together because, like I said, we was going. I don't know where we were going, but we were going. So in conclusion, I just want to say that, I know sometimes people on this earth experience not having a parent or whatever like that, but I want to say give them a chance. If you give them a chance and they still keep messing up, that's at your discretion to continue to give them the chance. But we can't blame them for things that they did when they didn't know what they didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know what you don't know, how can you fix it? How can you learn from it? How can you move on? If it's nobody in your life to show you or guide you or teach you things, there's no way that you will learn. I mean, you will learn. Some people learn on their own, but some people just don't. It just doesn't happen. Everybody doesn't have that. And it's not a good thing and it's not a bad thing. It's just that people make mistakes. And when people make those mistakes, it's up to you to figure out whether you want to move forward with it and deal with it or you don't. It's just that simple, and understand their side. And I'm not saying it was okay for my mom to neglect me and, make me feel like she didn't care and, make me feel like she chose her friends and drugs over me. But what I am saying is that I don't know why she did that because she could have been going through something. She could have been hurt along the way. Somebody could have did something to her or said something to her, or she maybe even felt lost in her own self or had low self-esteem or whatever it was that made her be the way that she was. And it's not a bad thing. The best part of all of this is that she changed. She's an amazing mom. She's an amazing grandmother. And I wouldn't trade her for the world, So, and I appreciate that part of her. Ooh, I'm sorry. So, I appreciate her getting it together because for so long, I disliked my mom. I disliked my mom for so long. And I didn't want to, but it was just what was going on in my life and what was going on in her life. And it just resulted for her to not to be there for me like I craved her. So for her to change and for me to finally feel and to finally know that I have my mother, it's like the best feeling in the world because growing up as a kid, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be with my mom. That's all I wanted. I just wanted my mother. And whatever way that I was able to get her, I was all in. So anyway, I'm sorry. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Okay? I love you guys. I really appreciate everybody that has subscribed. I appreciate everybody that has tuned in. Share my videos. Everything I say is true. It's my truth. It's my story. And I personally feel and I know in my heart that my stories will help the next person. And that's exactly all I'm here for. Just to let you guys know that it will be okay. That you will get through it. That you are not alone. And I'm always here for you if you ever need me. Anyway, love y'all. Peace.